Welcome to the training presentation, 2013 Operating Plan, Roadmap to Profitability. My name is Joe White and my company is CostDown Consulting. To understand the value of an operations plan, take a minute and ask yourself a few questions about your company's current year performance. Are financial results as hoped for, or did they disappoint? Did you make most or all of your 2012 performance goals? Did your managers perform to the level anticipated? Based on current performance, do you have confidence that 2013 financial performance will be better than 2012? If you are a trucking company owner or executive concerned about 2013 financial performance, you need to consider an operations plan. It does not matter what type of trucking operations you run or how large or small your company is. There is no other single initiative you can undertake that will have more influence on improving 2013 profitability than a well thought out and executed operations plan. This training presentation will demonstrate how trucking companies can develop an effective operations plan. Let's start with a definition. An operations plan is a roadmap that provides detailed directions to the employees of your organization regarding two basic questions. Where are we going and how do we get there? The where and where are we going refers to targeted levels of performance for specific operational areas called performance goals. Common examples for our industry include driver productivity, miles per gallon, idling hours, loaded mile percentage, on-time performance, fleet utilization, load capacity, driver retention, and PM compliance. The how and how do we get there refers to the strategy, direction, tools, and support specified in your operations plan that provides everything your employees need to make their performance goals. These include selection of those handful of performance goals that are most critical to financial success, assignment of accountability for performance goals, identification of the best activities to use to improve performance, employee training and resource support, procedures for monitoring results and making plan adjustments where needed, and a reward system to motivate higher performance from your employees. Developing an effective operations plan requires significant analysis, planning, and time. Keep in mind, you are developing a strategy and support system that will guide and manage the activities and performance of your employees through an entire year of operation. Is the time commitment worth it? If your company is currently underperforming month after month and your employees do not seem to be able to improve performance in critical areas, then the answer is yes. There are 4 steps required to develop an operations plan. The first and most time-consuming and important is a review of 2012 actual performance to targeted performance. In other words, analyze and identify specifically what went right and what went wrong during 2012. We'll talk more about this important step shortly. Step 2 is to use the results from the 2012 performance review to establish your company's 2013 performance goals. Your 2013 performance goals constitutes the where are we going portion of your operations plan. Step 3 is quantifying the financial impact of your newly established 2013 performance goals. In other words, how much additional profitability will making these performance goals add to the bottom line? Notice that there are back and forth arrows between this step and establishing your 2013 goals. Often the quantification process points out that goal attainment does not bring the level of profitability needed. This may cause you to revisit the goals established in Step 2, either to set higher targets or to select different goals with higher profit potential. Step 4 is to provide your employees the resources, training, and incentives they need to make their performance goals. An operations plan only has value if it succeeds in elevating employee performance. This is accomplished by both the strategy established in the plan and the support provided to the organization's employees. Of the 4 steps, the most important is the review of 2012 performance and therefore the focus of our training. Many companies ignore the significant opportunity a year's worth of operating history provides for improving future performance. Performance goals missed can provide just as much insight into improving future operations as performance goals made. The same is true for the insight provided by analyzing top-performing and underperforming employees. Lessons learned from historical operating performance provide the keys to improving your company's bottom line. The purpose of the 2012 review is to define what can be done differently in 2013 to improve profitability. There are 5 activities associated with the annual review. Identify and analyze prior period successes and failures. Quantify actual financial impact. Review manager self-performance feedback. Define new SOPs for improved performance. And use review results to develop 2013 goals. On the top half of this slide is a table for a hypothetical trucking company we will use as an example. 5 key performance areas were established as 2012 performance goals. They were idle hours per truck per year, average loaded miles per driver per week, empty mile percentage, driver turnover, and PM compliance. Our company has 3 terminals listed in separate columns. The individual terminals have a unique target for each goal. We also have a total company column that provides a weighted average goal for combined terminal results. The far right column forecasts the financial impact of each goal. Our first activity is to identify 2012 successes and failures. When operations are reviewed prior to a year being completed, year-to-date actuals or end-of-year forecasts are used as the actual performance numbers. As you can see, year-to-date actual performance is used in our example and color-coded for ease of illustration. Bright green indicates a goal was made or exceeded. Dark green means improvement was made over baseline, but the goal was not met. Red indicates performance was at or worse than the baseline. Analyzing actual to goal performance provides a lot of valuable insight. For example, Memphis was our obvious best overall performing terminal, making 3 of 5 goals and improving in the other 2. Procedures and activities used by the Memphis manager and his team should be considered for use by the other terminals to improve their performance. Atlanta was our worst terminal. Performance was worse than baseline in 4 of the 5 goals. We need to provide additional training for the Atlanta management team or perhaps replace key management personnel. On a combined terminal level, we only made 27% of the goals established. On a total company level, we didn't make a single goal. We improved in 4 of the goals and did worse in the 5th goal, empty mile percentage. The high failure rate for goal attainment suggests that either our goals were too aggressive or we failed to provide adequate training and support for our employees. Quantifying actual financial impact and comparing it to our goal forecast often provides sobering results. In our example, had we made all of our goals, we would have increased profitability by over $919,000. based on year-to-date actuals, we only will increase the bottom line by about $272,000. That means we left behind almost $648,000 of profit because we did not meet our goals. The biggest misses came from miles per gallon, empty mile percentage, and average loaded miles per driver, which accounted for $565,000 of the missed opportunity. Our next activity is the manager's self-performance review. This is where we develop the procedural nuts and bolts of our operations plan. Each manager is required to submit a comprehensive self-review of his or her performance for each goal. Within that review, the manager specifies what issues prevented goal attainment, what activities were used in attempts to make the goal, and what is needed next year to be successful for that goal. Here's a simplified example of a manager's self-review. Actual self-reviews need to be much more comprehensive. For the goal empty mile percentage, our Houston manager listed his issues as too much volume into Galveston and Beaumont without return freight, and getting drivers home for weekend forces a lot of deadhead miles. He listed his activities to make those goals as checking online load boards daily for backhauls, always asking drivers to wait for a home load on weekends, but they are usually not agreeable. He also states that much of the improvement came from a new relationship with a logistics company called Houston Freight Transfer that helped him fill his empty lanes. His resource needs for 2013 were listed simply as better source of return loads for Galveston and Beaumont. The manager's self-performance review holds managers accountable for meeting their goals. Additionally, the review assesses manager capabilities, identifies performance obstacles, and evaluates the effectiveness of activities used to make goals. The manager's self-performance review is an excellent activity to use to award annual salary increases or bonuses based on performance. Small trucking companies with only one terminal should consider using driver-manager self-reviews to gain the desired insight while holding driver managers accountable for their assigned goals. Once manager self-reviews are completed, they are analyzed by the executives that develop the operational plan. Executives use the reviews to analyze manager capabilities, determine if they have a true understanding of the issues that prevented goal obtainment, and assess how effective the activities they use are towards improving performance and making goals. If a review is not comprehensive enough, lacking adequate definition of the issues or documentation of the activities and resource needs, it should be sent back to the manager to redo. As the executives analyze each review, they should identify what they can do to help a manager improve performance. Keeping in mind some managers may not be salvageable and need replacing, while also looking for unique and successful activities that might help other managers improve their performance. The next activity is to define new SOPs for improved performance. Take the best and most successful activities from each review and combine them into suggested standard operating procedures that all managers should use. Finally, use the 2012 review as the basis for establishing your 2013 performance goals. As a result of that review, you now have an assessment of individual terminal and total company performance for each goal, the financial impact of missed goals, and understanding of which goals offer the highest profit potential, specifics about the issues that prevented goal obtainment, and a capabilities assessment of your managers, and a list of resource needs and a collection of standard operating procedures that will help all of your managers improve performance and profitability in 2013. A little about the remaining 3 steps. We now understand how the 2012 review prepares us for establishing our 2013 goals. Make sure that the goals you select have the highest impact on profitability and are assigned to the employee group that can most influence its performance. Also, make sure you assign SMART goals. For example, maintenance cost per mile is not a performance goal you would assign to a driver manager. However, assigning driver managers PM compliance as a goal will achieve the same results, reduce maintenance cost, and can be influenced by driver managers as they are responsible for scheduling their assigned drivers. Quantify your 2013 opportunity by forecasting the profit impact your new goals will have on profitability. There may be some goal support costs associated with your plan, so make sure you include them in the calculation. Our final step is to provide employees with the resources, training, and incentives needed to make their goals. The best approach is to conduct a manager meeting where review results are explained, new performance goals are revealed, and training is provided on the new SOPs and resources that will be provided to the employees. During the meeting, brainstorm for additional SOPs. As you explain the success activities compiled from the reviews, managers may hear of a new activity they haven't used that spurs suggestions on a better version of that same activity. Finally, to greatly increase your company's chances for success in 2013, provide financial incentives. Use a shared savings bonus program where profitability from goal attainment is shared with employees that make their goals. A few Q&As before we end our training session. Question: is it too late to develop an operations plan once 2013 begins? Answer: no. An operations plan provides strategy for a one-year period, but does not have to align with a calendar year. The most important aspect of an operations plan is having one in place, not what period it covers. Question: do small trucking companies benefit from operations plans? The answer is yes. Employees still need direction, support, and resources. Regardless of the size of your company, you need a plan that enables and motivates your employees to improve their performance and your bottom line. Question: my company didn't have assigned employee goals in 2012. What should I do? Answer: bump 2011 against 2012 performance to understand the trends and opportunities, then develop your 2013 operations plan. You can still utilize manager self-reviews to identify what they know about goal obstacles and collect their improvement activity suggestions and resource needs. Question: once our operations plan is implemented, what's next? The answer is monitor, coach, react, and communicate. As the executive responsible for your company's financial performance, you want to frequently monitor results. If progress is not being made, it is your responsibility to coach failing employees, make the needed correction in management personnel or resource needs, and communicate to the entire management team goal progress and any adjustments required. Question: if I have questions about this training presentation or need professional help with my operations plan, who do I call? Please feel free to contact me, Joe White, with any questions you may have about this training presentation or the professional services, including operational audits and planning, that CostDown Consulting offers trucking companies.